champ of the mic on tonight. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take note, bow down if you can. It's the Brilliant Show with the Brilliant One. He's the man.
Welcome into the Brilliant Show tonight. We got a special guest. Now, before we get to that, I'm going to just go ahead and explain. Simon Phillips was supposed to be here tonight. Something came up. We've rescheduled. He'll be here next week sometime, so just stay tuned for that date. I think it's July the 8th. We're going to do it. Not next week, but, we're going to do it. So Simon will be on July the 8th, but we got a special guest. We got comedian Krangus Gillespie. Let me get it right. Coming up right now. So let's bring him on in, and I'll plug some stuff. What's going on, Krangus?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, doing good, brother. Doing good. We're fixing to jump into some good stuff, but before we do, I gotta plug something. Let's go ahead and plug it right now. Go to the Brilliant Show on Brainbuster Tees and get the Off the Rails t-shirt right now. It is selling like crazy. I mean, I woke up this morning and this shirt had done sold like 8 or 9 shirts this morning. So people are really going for this shirt. So go check it out on brainbustertees.com. And don't forget, if you can't catch us live, you can always listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, and more. And I know I got lit up Thursday night. I took my shirt off. I challenged Suge White to a fight. And then I woke up the next morning and realized what I'd done. So, Suge, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, Suge's a big boy.
Yeah, Suge was scary that night. Steven, what's up, man? We got Chris Chambers. What's up? Steven Dixon's in the house. Yeah, and now look, dude's funny, and we're going to have some fun with this one tonight. So go ahead and tell me, before we went on the air, you was telling me you was opening for somebody. Why don't you fill in everybody?
Yeah, man, we just had a great weekend at in Long Beach at Trax. I was surprised that he wanted to come through, but his agent hit me up a few months ago, and we set it up. That much last minute, I didn't have much of a choice, so we got him up there. But Louis J. Gomez was in Long Beach this Friday, packed out show. We had to turn like 30 people away. If you don't know who Louis J. Gomez is, he's the founder of Legion of Skanks. He's the founder of Skankfest. He just got inducted into the Rogan sphere. He's been on Joe Rogan like 6 times. Like, this is a big name. It's the biggest name that any independent producer in Mississippi's ever been able to put down here. So I'm kind of on cloud 9 right now. And then I opened for him again in Mobile last night.
Oh, I bet you are on cloud 9. That is awesome. Like, yes, yeah, he's been on Joe Rogan. God, can't tell you how many times. And he's hilarious as well. Got fucked up. It is my fault. It is my fault. I mean, it was really bad. Like, I was 6 IPAs in on that one. And Chambers, you did get the original shirt. Thank you. I got your picture. I'll probably show it tomorrow night. Yeah, yours did get off the rail. Sub to you on Facebook. I saw that, and I appreciate it. And we're going to be giving away a shirt. What's today? Tomorrow night. We're going to be giving away 2 things tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in. All right. So me and you talked a little bit at the Mississippi Rumble this year. That's where we met at.
Yeah, that fucking shit show. They threw my ass out.
Yeah. Well, I know that. And then, like, you were defending me when I was dealing with that idiot, Brady and Landry. You were out there. I like that. But we kind of talked a little bit. And
I was watching the whole match, and it was like, God damn, these are some fat, unhealthy wrestlers. At least you were kind of fit, Like, I don't know. Just feel like I was hoping everybody get their money's worth on it.
Yeah, and you did. You caused a stirrup. What was your problem with the GCW? Let's just go to that right quick before we get to something else.
Well, it goes back a little ways. One of their wrestlers actually came to one of my shows at the Jute Joint a few years ago and started heckling. And then, if you got a comedy show, like, I'm okay with heckling, bro. I'm good with it. I've had some, I'll tell you this, like, you're not going to scare me. This is the wildest thing that's ever happened to me on stage. Years ago, a dude, like, it was a Raiders bar, and the Raiders were playing at this open mic I was at. And it was, if you've ever met Raiders fans, they are crazy.
Oh yeah, wow.
And I got on stage and I was like, man, fuck the Raiders. And this dude straight up pulled out like a shiv, like a prison made, like a fork, toothbrush thing. And he was like walking to the stage with it. And I was like, yo, stop. Look, you could kill me tonight. But first, let me take you to Target and get you some better cutlery, dog. Come on. You can't be killing me with that disrespectful ass shit, dog. Come on. So one of their wrestlers, and I guess she was just there we've kind of made up since then, but her name is Flowers. She came in and heckled me, and then I started, I don't know, I don't remember what I said to her, but she got mad, and I was like, what are you going to do about it? I'm thinking I'm just a comedian. She gets on stage and tries to attack me. The security got her out, but it was like, then I start looking through it. I find out a few things about her. First of all, she was part of the GCW, and then I find out she was a furry. So we posted the content about that. That was like 2 years ago, I think, or last year that happened, like last March, I think that happened. And I found out she was like a furry. So then I started getting all this hate from the furry community. I don't know if you know about that world.
I have not a clue on what goes on in that world at all.
Are you familiar with like what a furry is?
I've heard it. I've heard the word furry. I'm a furry. I have no fucking idea what that is.
It's like an adult that dresses up like an animal. They basically wear their little animal costume. That's the best I can come up with in terms of how to describe that shit. It's weird. It's like they LARP as a squirrel all day or whatever animal they choose.
Oh, so it's kind of like, the cosplay. I got Ryan Razors coming in as well here.
All right.
I want to see what he says. Well, Ryan, you there? Maybe Ryan's not there yet. We'll get back to Ryan. I want to ask him about this furry stuff. Here JB just chimed in. Some weirdos, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to describe. Anyway, she did that.
Do they? Oh, hold on. You know what? I got a story about that.
Do they pee in the litter box? Well, I guess if they're the cat, better not pee in the fucking carpet.
So I do have a story. I do remember something happened. It was at school for a family member. I'll just say that she came home and said that one of the girls in her class was a furry, and I remember asking, "What the fuck is that?" And
well, how old is this person that you're talking about? Is it like a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kids is one thing, the little kids get in costume. That's Halloween's for kids, but we're talking like grown ass people, like 30-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I said. I asked her, and then a year later, she tells me that she's no longer one. So I'm like, oh, that's just a kid face. But yeah, when you're an adult walking around pretending to be you're pretending to be an animal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they spend money on these costumes too. It's like thousands.
Oh my gosh. Ryan, are you a furry?
Fuck no.
Okay, because Krangus was here telling me what a furry was. I didn't honestly know. Like,
you won't lie, bro. I served in Afghanistan, and when you popped on, I was like, "Oh shit, the Taliban's in the house." God damn, PTSD, bro.
I don't know nothing.
Ryan?
Not a whole lot. You're talking about furries. I don't know nothing about that.
I don't either. Apparently, a Flowers is a furry. But anyway, so. Ugh. You got into being a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that start? Like, what made you decide, hey, I'm going to be a comedian and just jump into it?
I served in Afghanistan, and I don't know, there was these moments. I really didn't have any intention of doing this. There was a time when I had a whole different path set ahead of me, but, we would come back from, like, patrols or whatever, bad things would happen, and we'd have these little smoke pit sessions, and it wasn't like I was doing a set, but it was like we were just exchanging stories about home and just making each other laugh. And I don't know, I found something holy. If you're able to be in that shitty of a place in a situation and still make people laugh, there's something holy about that. There's something very human about that. And you can see the universe in people's eyes if you're making them laugh. And I don't know, I just fell in love with it. And then I got back, and a bunch of my buddies dragged me out to an open mic. I was stationed in San Diego. So they took me to this place called Moondoggies. I got hammered and fucking bombed my ass off, except for one joke that I still do to this day that has since gone viral, actually. But ever since then, I don't know. It's comedy. 12 years in, comedy is like a drug. Like you have a bad set, it's like a bad trip. If you have a good set, it's like being really fucking high. And then there's always the come down, like it's gotten to a point now where it's like, I don't even know what else to do in my life. This is all I got.
So how long have you been doing this?
About 12 years, since 2013. So.
Wow. Hold on, let's see here. Everyone that people has issues with is going to be shoot show before it's all over. That is true. Everybody's going to be shoot show. But I tell you this, O'Malley, by the time we get through the list of figuring out who shoot show is, we're going to it's going to be right eventually. Right, Ryan?
Well, I say eventually, I guess.
Okay. Hey, you never know. We may have the shoot show on the show tonight.
You let this Taliban member take care of your niece? Dang. Daniel.
That's DJ. So you took care of DJ's niece last night?
Yeah. She escorted me to the ring last night for Larry Bartlett's cancer show, cancer benefit show.
Well, how'd that go?
It was wet.
Well, I know. I was there until my wife got sick and we had to roll out. But yeah.
But it was basically one of those situations. Once the bell rung, everything was fine. So it was the overall show came off without a hitch.
Ryan Razor's my new favorite wrestler. Can't wait to see you the 5th. So you're going to be there on the 5th?
I'm scheduled to.
Let's see. Yeah, Chris Ricard had said you were going to be there. So Ryan, have you been? Blah, blah. Ryan Razors. Woohoo. Ha. All right. So Krangus now. What's Dixon said? Is she feeling better, Brennan? Yeah, she's feeling a little bit better. She's still nauseous. All right. So Krangus, you get into a comedian and you start doing these bars. Now you're kind of like probably traveling a lot, doing different stuff, doing different sets and stuff. What's it like being a comedian on the road? Because you're not. There's not many, bars close by. You know what I mean?
Where are you at?
I'm in Meridian. I ain't one nowhere near.
I didn't know you were that far up. Yeah, on the coast there's a lot. I mean, I got a couple of little shows down here. I used to do the brewery comedy tour, and like the manager that I had on that one, like the shows could be lucrative, like they could be nice. There were some nights where I was pulling away like $1,200, but the way that he routed them was like I was averaging like 12 hours a day driving. So like there was like a 6-month period where I was literally just living Motel 6 to Nights Inn, and it was like 2 other comics with me on the road. We had to share an air mattress, and my life became just wake up, drive, show, sleep, wake up, drive, show, sleep. That tour ended with me choking out my opener because he wouldn't return the bowling shoes. I'm just gonna let you think about that for a minute. I mean, if you've ever had like, I don't know how the wrestling world works, but if you've had to like travel, I ain't gonna lie. When it comes to like picking openers and people that I want to go on the road with, I almost don't give a fuck if you're funny. My question is, can I tolerate this motherfucker in the car for 12 hours? Like it really becomes like, how chill is this dude in real life? You know what I mean? Like, because if they ain't funny, I can just pick it up. But like, goddamn, I just need somebody that's not gonna like rob me when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, you go to bed, wake up. Car's gone.
Yeah.
Everything's gone.
Dude, I'll tell you one funny story. A few years ago, I don't know if wrestlers probably don't have this, or there's a thing called Gig Salad, and it's mostly DJs that get on it for like weddings. But it's like a thing where you can like, it's like a phone app that you download, and it'll like when somebody wants to hire you for an event to hire you. It's like a private gig thing. So I was doing that for a while, and it's one gig. It was like this lady in Pensacola. The money was good, and her thing was she wanted to give her employees like an employees night. So it was a closed event just for her employees at this restaurant that she owned. She had just bought it. What I didn't know was like the reason that she was able to buy this restaurant is because her husband had just died and like left her all this insurance money. And like the whole like employees all knew and loved this man. So like this was basically a funeral. So I'm like setting up my mic. It goes live and she just picks up the mic and it was like a situation where I couldn't really move from behind her. So I'm just sitting there kneeling and she's like proceeds to like through tears do this like eulogy about this man and everybody in the crowd's crying. And in my head, I'm thinking she's kind of looking at me. I'm like, no way she's about to bring me on stage like this. And boy, does she just, I just want to give you guys a good night. So give it up for Mr. Krangus. I'm like, you fucking serious? Like everybody's
way to warm up the crowd here.
Like, all right, well that dude's fucking dead. Let's go on to the next joke. And everybody actually worked because everybody's like, all right, that was weird. Yeah.
Shit. Well, I mean,
I've done a lot of weird gigs, dude.
Well, with wrestling, and Ryan can attest to this. Like sometimes we're driving 5 or 6 hours or even longer, and you do want to be in the damn car with somebody that you can tolerate. You definitely don't want to be in there with some motherfucker you can't.
Or their hygiene, like those motherfuckers.
Oh God, dang, yes. You get in the car. All right, let's just say you get in the car, and you're not the one driving. It's not your car, but you got to sit in the back seat. You get back there, and you have to sit in the middle because you're the littlest fucking one.
Yeah.
And then all you can smell is armpits, like stinky damn armpits, and I'm just like, fuck, you know.
It's even worse like after a show too, because it's like the sweat and all the.
Yeah, for you guys, you probably can't help a lot of it because you have your bags from the night before that you haven't taken to the laundromat. You know, like that's I can imagine.
Well, and shit, there's really like there's no showers at some of these gyms or where you go with like little wrestling sheds and stuff, and then there is no gyms, so you're all riding home sweaty. I'll tell you, one night.
Get a Planet Fitness membership. That's what every comedian on the road does because there's a Planet Fitness everywhere.
And there's a showers.
Every comedian. That's like a comedian secret, dude. Planet Fitness, like I have a membership and I rarely work out. I do work out, but not there. That's just where I go to take a shower before I hit a gig.
Hot damn. That's a secret right there, guys. Get that. But I got beer poured on me and chocolate milk one night. And had to drive 3 hours home smelling like sour beer and sour milk. It was horrible. Luckily, it was just my wife over in the seat next to me that had to deal with it. So
you know what the worst is like if you bomb on a show and then you got to just drive in the loneliness for the next 6 hours, just like I should quit comedy. I fucking suck.
Quit the fucking business right now.
Because it's just running through your head at that point. Like, what the fuck did I just do and stuff like that. Ryan, like tell one of your funny road stories because I know you've been to Indiana. What was the Indiana road trip like?
So that was when I rode up with Black Hands Society. Me, myself, Tommy Zero. I said me, myself twice. That's crazy. Anyways, and Damien Castle. So we rode up there. It was like a 12-hour drive. We went up there during the middle of a storm that was coming through. So we were getting rain, hail, ice pelted on us and everything between. We had to stop like multiple times throughout that whole trip just to get over there. But then the ride back was completely fine. Nothing out of the ordinary I can remember happening. At least I don't think so. I remember I got stopped once. When I was riding up with Punk Money because Hunter Hendricks drives like a madman. And so the cop stops us, and some of us carry certain stuff with us. And some of us may have been a little bit on edge about it. So I'm just sitting there, and mind you, I got the crazy face paint on and shit, my mask and everything. I'm in the back seat, so I'm just kind of just sitting there, just hoping to God they don't really see me. And even then, me and the cop make full eye contact with each other. We told them we're going to a wrestling show and this and that, yada yada. They let us off. They let us off with a warning, I think. But yeah, so I was able to unpucker my asshole for that moment.
Well, hell, the craziest thing was I was driving 90 one time in like a 45. I'm not going to say what I was doing, but I was driving 90 in a 45 and highway patrolman pulled me over.
Shit.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm about to go to jail.
I'm
going to jail.
Pulls up, you're like, oh shit.
It's over with.
I said, yeah, I'm going to jail. And it was a young highway patrolman, and he walks up, and he's like, just kind of creeping by the window, like looking, and I go, man, I've got a medication I'm trying to get to a patient. He's hospice. Oh, okay. Well, you go on ahead. Just slow down a little bit, please. Nice. I looked up and I went.
As beer bottles are like shuffling around.
I'm like, look at
that privilege on you, buddy. Look at you.
Exactly.
I got that. There's white privilege and then there's veteran white privilege. They see that veteran in my ID and they start going, oh man, where'd you serve? And I'm like, oh, Afghanistan. Like, all right, cool. Have a nice night.
Now, the one time that I was headed to like Louisiana, and this was legit, an emergency medicine that had to get to Louisiana. And I'm driving and got my flashers on. I'm hauling ass. And I was only going 85 in a 70. And I get pulled over, and the dude did not want to hear that it was emergency. Even the boss was on there telling him it was emergency. Still gave me a damn ticket.
Yeah.
And so it didn't work that time, but it worked the time it needed to work. I was glad to pay that or get that ticket out of the way. All right. So you hate GCW, correct? I mean, because
look, this is the thing. All right, I don't hate it. This is what that was. Flower's gonna come and do that shit to my show, so I'm gonna come and hang my nuts in their show. You know what I mean? Like it's to me, it's just a tit for tat thing. You're gonna come and fuck up my shit. I'm gonna come fuck up your shit. So
just go and do it.
And it's not like I'm a wrestler, so Suge White definitely took care of that shit. Biggest fucking dude after me, so I'm like, all right. But
yeah, well, I'll say this, man. When you look at Suge, you know not to push no buttons.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
That's just one thing, yeah, Brandon and his tire problems. That's right. Broke some damn tire rods in the car one night, leaving a show, and had to get towed 3 hours, almost, or 2.5 hours to my house. You don't even want to know how much that cost. And oh my God, it was horrible. So yeah, I remember that night. I thought it was just a flat tire. Put the spare on, and the damn spare made it 20 miles up the road, and it was just nothing. And then I looked, and it was just being dug into by these rods. So it was it fucked up big time. All right, I got something funny to show y'all. This is a news headline that I saw today, and I'm just sitting here thinking, trying to make sense of the world, how crazy the world is. Like you can't make your shit up. Look at this. A teenager was arrested after he allegedly attacked a man with a plunger, shoved it down his throat, poured bleach on his wounds, and kidnapped his child.
I have a question. Did he shove it down hot dog style or hamburger style?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, what the hell did he?
All that's missing from that is Florida man.
No, Long Beach, Mississippi, man. Long Beach is the Florida of Mississippi. If you've ever been over there.
Yeah, it really is. Let's see here. We got a couple things. I trolled Suge on Facebook. he'd kill me at the next PW 225 show, probably. Oh yeah,
I mean,
look,
you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I obviously know I'm not a wrestler, but I was still a Marine. I'm not going to be afraid of people just because they're fucking big, dude. Like, you know, I'm still going to like let everybody know, like, fuck that. I've been running comedy shows down here for 6 fucking years, and I've got like legitimate TV credits. Fuck this. Nobody's gonna come in and fuck up my show without some retaliation, you know. And you know, it's entertainment. It's all in good fun, but you know, I'm still not gonna be afraid of people just because they big.
no, I mean, I'll take an ass whooping any day of the week. Me and my blown tires. Oh yeah, Ricard's dude blew all his tires on a trailer.
Why are you blowing trailers?
That's a good one. But like, dude went to the show, like blew tires on the way to the show, had to get another trailer to get the ring to the show. It was crazy, man. So let's see here. What else we got?
Long way.
Definitely a Florida man, I think. Yeah, you know, it's like Krangus said, Long Beach is just as bad as Florida. So it is the Florida of Mississippi.
Hey, Sosha is all right.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit on that one, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty rowdy up there. I had a lady at a show in Sosha, or no, I was in Wiggins. She pulled a dildo out of her purse mid-set and hucked it on stage at me. Just yeeted a dildo at me. Pulled it out of her purse. She just had a pocket dildo, I guess. Just
it was a pocket. It wasn't a Steely Dan, was it?
She wasn't like mad at the show. She was just like, it was a really good show. She was just like really feeling it and thought it'd be funny. And I was like, what the fuck? Like
what am I supposed to do with this, man?
Wiggins much better.
You know, hey, but you know what? The towns like that, when it comes to entertainment, are nice because they ain't got shit else to do. So you set up a show there, and man, people will flock to it. I could sell. If I went to fucking New York City and said Krangus is coming, I get 6 people. If I go to Wiggins and said I'm coming, I'll fill that bitch up. You know what I mean? Like rooms like that are my specialty. Yeah, bro. Sosha's got its charm. I mean, it's definitely got some wild ass people though. It's definitely the meth capital of Mississippi. But
oh, wait a minute now. You know what? Well, you might be right on one of the meth capitals, but I'm gonna just say this: like where I live in Meridian that's meth central. Okay, when I'm driving down the road, I always go zombie, because you see them walking down the road. And every time I say zombie, I done got to the point where my mother-in-law, she sees one now, she goes, zombie. Because that's what I call them, zombies, because that's all I see. It's like the Walking Dead on the streets around.
Wait, have y'all seen 28 Years Later yet?
Yeah, no, I have not seen 28 Years Later. Is it good?
Wait, it looks like Ryan knows where I'm going with this. You know, a new zombie just dropped. Yeah, zombies with huge dicks. Like, bro, it's like this alpha zombie that they keep showing it to. It's like a fucking dong on this dude.
Shit, terrible.
I'll get out of the chair.
28 inches later, what up?
Jamie knows it. Zero, Mississippi is the meth capital. That is right outside Meridian, and dude, it is like
was it Zero?
That's literally the name of that community is Zero.
I'm on the Gulf Coast, so I'm in Gulfport. So I think we're the crack capital, probably.
Yeah, I was finna say y'all got some. I mean, shit, this is all a drug problem, right? Tillman's Corner, Alabama, Crackville, USA.
I know. I just drive going to Mobile. I got to drive through Tillman's Corner.
Man, so where in Mobile did you play last night?
The Crescent Theater. It's like on Dolphin Street. Great location, and it's and I'll be posting clips of it, but it's like an old movie theater that they've turned into a venue space. Packed it out. It's like 120 seats. We packed it out.
Wow,
nice.
That's more than some wrestling companies are putting in the.
Yeah. And man, I do got to shout out Louis J. Gomez again, because you know, like when it comes to these big names, I'm sure in wrestling, it's like you kind of get nervous because it's like, man, this guy's probably going to big time me or be a diva about shit. But he really wasn't. Like I had to drive him to Mobile, and he was super, you know, I think it's what it is like I have an equation for dudes that are like dickhead. Like they seem like they'd be a dickhead on stage. Like they typically end up being the sweethearts off stage. I don't know if that's like an equation in wrestling, but for us, it's like the dudes that are the biggest pricks that on stage are actually nice as fuck. And he was super helpful and like, you know, we were chatting it up, and he wasn't trying to big time me. He wasn't, you know, doing big guy shit. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. Like being around her, like you see a hero and it's like, no, okay. Sometimes you can't meet a hero and it works out, you know?
Well, dude, like, I don't know what anybody's problem is. I've heard this several times that people said that Chris Masters, who was in WWE for years, they said he was the biggest asshole. He was this and that. And I was in a match with him. You know, he didn't take me on, but he took on my client, Vladimir Koloff, one night, and I managed him. And the dude couldn't have been no nicer to us, even though he beat me up, threw me down, and stuffed the Russian flag in my mouth. But other than that, you know, it was good. He was great to deal with, was no problems. We had fun, but I've heard people just say he was an asshole. But I've been around him a couple times, and both times I was around him, nothing but nice, and people were just like, oh, he's a dick, he's a dick. I didn't see it, but, you know, that was just me.
Yeah, sometimes, and I know I've been around enough. Yeah, dude, that's the comedy night of the juke joint's my night. That's the one that I've been running for the last 6 years, dog. Show up. It's actually the longest running comedy show in the state of Mississippi.
I'm gonna have to get down there. I've not been to a comedy show in so long. The last comedy show I went to, and I know this is gonna be like, wow, it was Brad Garrett in Las Vegas at his club.
Yeah.
Back when I took my wife out there to see the Eagles live, and so yeah, it's been a minute, a few years.
Somebody just said something. Somebody said something about martinis. Yeah, I did that show a few times, and I would have loved to keep doing it because it was always packed when we did it. But there's a funny story about I think the first night we did it, it was like a bunch of kind of rednecky. It was like the Biloxi crowd, like the kind of white conservative people. And this comic buddy of mine named Misho gets up, and he's like the Syrian dude. He's a cool guy, but he does a 9/11 joke. And these dudes, these white people in the room were like trying to get up to fight this dude. And he was like, all right, bye. And then he does what every comic does. He started doubling down on it too, which all the comics were like, and then he gets off stage and they put me up next, and I had to do it. I had to be like, I served in Afghanistan. I used to kill guys like that. And they were like, they settled down after that. But it was one of the hardest I've had to follow because like people were actively trying to fight this fucking guy. And I was like, yo. But Misho's a sweetheart. But Martinis would have been a good room. I think they just didn't have anything to do with the comedy show. They had something going on with the owners in the city of Biloxi. I saw an article about it recently, but I don't remember what it said. That was a good room, though.
Hell, I've been wanting to get down there to some of the clubs and just have some fun, some drinks and stuff. So I may we'll have to get together and talk about it after we get off the podcast, and maybe set something up where I can come down there because I love comedy's wrestling's my love, but comedy, man, I love that. I love just seeing a good comedy show on that. Ryan, dude, you're a comedian yourself.
Something like that.
I mean, I saw you yesterday just chatting it up with somebody.
I chatted with a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say he had a 2 in his name.
Yeah. One of your favorite people.
I know, man. He came on the show and he got a holy shucks. Ryan Razor's great freaking match last night. Who did you take on last night? Because I know a lot of things changed up last night.
I ended up facing EJ Runner.
Oh, EJ, he's going to be on here soon too.
Yeah, we we had a little hardcore match. It was pretty cool. I put him through a door twice, technically. So,
did you?
Really fun match. Of course, I did.
Oh, okay.
I gotta ask, where do wrestler producers go to find all the like doors and windows and just shit that ends up getting broken? Like, where do you go?
Home Depot.
Home Depot. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean,
He was trying to bring
it's
it down.
You gotta be the guy that, like, if you're buying all that shit, the person checking you out has to be like, this is the wildest assortment of shit. This person's probably gonna kill somebody. Like,
the funny thing about it is, and some people are going to get a funny kick out of this. Do you know that you got to go to Lowe's, Walmart, or somewhere to get a ladder for a ladder match, right?
okay.
Do you know how much them damn ladders are?
Yeah, I know. Like the 6-footers, they're like
Yeah.
$200 at least.
Yeah.
You're paying more for the ladder than you are the talent.
Yeah. Well, maybe talent should start asking for more. I don't know.
Well, yeah, well, I don't know about that now.
Yeah.
Shit.
Don't be giving these wrestlers ideas.
Don't be giving no ideas out there. We don't need a union out
Like,
here.
I'm up in my rate.
Oh,
God
Dollar
damn it.
Tree for plates and cooking sheets.
Oh yeah, that shit works wonders.
Your house, we steal. Hey, that would be great to go find a ladder. Your neighbor's got a ladder stuck out there, and he goes he leaves the house. You go get the ladder. You go put it up, and then he's missing a ladder. But if it don't break, you can always put it back.
Yeah, I was saying.
I recently had a situation with a neighbor that was playing his music really loud. He's in the house next door, right over here, right behind the computer. And then the next day, I was pissed because I didn't get any sleep. Well, I shaved my pubes, and the way that I do it is I shave it over my towel, and then I fold it up, and I take it outside, and I shake the towel off. And later, I was smoking weed, looking out the window, and I saw a little bird take my pubes and make a nest in the neighbor's tree. So who wins that battle? Krangus wins the battle.
Exactly.
That's what I have to say to the GCW. I'll do that shit to y'all. I'll build a pube nest in your yard.
Well, if you didn't know, from what I saw on Facebook this morning, that GCW ceased operations.
Well,
or at least according to SingPet, who retired.
Well, there's a little bit more about that. I don't want to get into it yet, but they haven't ceased operations, but there is going to be a big change coming pretty soon. So,
yeah.
So
well, hopefully I can get back. Ryan Razors has a story about plates from the Dollar Tree against Liam. All right, tell us this story, Ryan, because I got a story to tell about Liam too.
It's okay then. Yeah, this was like last year, my AWF debut. It was a fair 4-way. That's actually one of like my most viral TikToks. It's kind of hardcore style, a lot of bullshit going on. Me, Jamie, Liam, and Duds. And Liam, I think I was originally there were these plates that was sitting there. I think Jamie brought in, and I grabbed them, and I think I was gonna I was planning on hitting them on Jamie, and then but Liam just came off to my blind side and hit me in the back with a chair. And I got a high threshold of pain, so it kind of just more annoyed me more than anything. So when I look over, I see who did it. He tried to like give the chair to someone else as if that guy did, but I knew who did. So I cracked him in the skull with it, and the place just shattered in my hands, and all went all over the place. If you ever go on my TikTok, that's like one of the most viral videos I have.
Well, what's your TikTok so we can go watch that shit?
Ryan Razors on TikTok.
We'll go check it out in a minute. No, Jamie, they didn't just start. They had their last show was in May. It was the Mississippi Rumble, but they've been around for a few years. They've run over in Bay St. Louis.
I'm just going to announce it now, dude. I'm buying GCW. It's GCW. A lot of the money that I've been making on these roast battles and all the shows that I've been doing, fuck it. Like I said, you want to fuck with me, I'm buying that shit myself. So that shit, it belongs to me now. So we're going to start.
You bought GCW?
Yeah, I'm the fucking owner of GCW. I didn't want to announce it yet, but fuck it. Here we are. Let's fucking say it. Let's fucking get it out there.
Oh, fuck.
We are not ceasing operations, but it is going to be different.
God damn, y'all hear that? That's what I'm talking about. Let it out, son. Let it out. So The
Now
GCW
Mississippi's going to see real entertainment. I got comedy and wrestling under my belt now.
finally somebody with some sense in wrestling. I love it. Love it. Now Liam, I'm not gonna say what wrestler this was, but I heard Liam got a chop in the corner, like chopped, and he dropped down to his ass. What was the deal with that, Ryan? Because I've been chopped by that man before.
Yep.
And several times, and I didn't drop to my ass. So what was the reason of him dropping to his ass that night?
Oh man, that's funny. I was there that night. And it happened like I think a little bit after I got eliminated. It was a rumble, I believe, that we were doing, and ironically enough, since we're talking about GCW, but I got taken out of the rumble. Wherever he came in, the man in question chopped him. Liam responded back with a chop of his own, and then it was basically a back and forth. And then
that real chop came in then, huh?
Yeah, I guess Liam don't seem to have the highest tolerance of pain like I do. So I guess he got a little I guess for lack of a better term, I guess he got a little bit was trying to like seize up and not take it, but I mean we know the guy. He's gonna get one way or another. It ain't no avoiding it. So
Willie Buck, do you even know who Krangus is? You're proud of him?
That's my new. I don't have a dad, so Willie's my new dad now. It'll cost $75 a day to be my dad, but I can work it down. I am in the market for a new dad, so
go get some milk and cigarettes, so you'll be good.
Krangus Buck has a nice ring to it, actually. Yeah,
that does. It does have a good ring to it. It sounds like it goes together. Hold on just a second, man. I don't know what's up with this.
I like you hear that Kill Bill part where the dude's like, "My name is Buck and I'm here to fuck." I always thought of like, what if there's a Temu version of it where it was like, "My name is Tex and I'm here to have sex."
Well, I had a nickname that I had come up with for this dude, and his name was like Kelly, and I called him Kelly Buck because he liked to fuck.
It does sound like a porn star name. Kelly Buck.
Kelly Buck is like, it's got that redneck trailer park, porn star kind of name.
Yeah,
like, not those famous porn stars.
No, it's gonna be while they're fucking, you're gonna hear like The Price is Right in the background. Because they're filming, they don't have a studio, they got to film at Mimi's house.
It'd be like where ECW used to film in the basement of Paul Heyman's mom's house. They filming in the basement doing promos. Well, they'd be doing the porno over here. We're not getting Ron Jeremy. We're getting Kelly Buck.
Yeah. He opened for Ron Jeremy, though.
Oh, man. What's up, James? What's going on, brother? So doing the comedian stuff, like you have a like format. You've got your set, right?
Yeah.
And you go out and do it. How does that kind of work? Do you kind of like do you add new stuff in, or is it just what's working now?
You gotta the system that I have set up now is I have that Tuesday show, the Price is wrong, bitch. Yeah, fuck yeah. I don't know this guy, but I like his energy. So like I have the Jute Joint, that Tuesday show that we were talking about. It's an open mic, so that's where the practice is. The open mics are where you go to work out the new stuff. I host it, and so I kind of can do whatever time I need. So there's times where I'll just do 5 minutes just because I need to work something out. Or if I'm like really trying to work out a set for like, say I'm like headlining somewhere, I'll do like a longer set at that mic, make sure the jokes are good. And then, but when I'm headlining, I get to stretch my nuts a little bit because it's like my show. They marketed it towards me. I'm going to be a little bit loose and do whatever I want, riff a little bit. But if I'm opening for somebody like this weekend, when you're an opener, you're not the star of the show, and your job is just to carry it forward and warm it up so that the headliner has an easier time. You're just a support role. So like, there's rules in comedy about that. You can't they'll throw your ass out. Like you'll be banned if you come up there opening for a big name, like trying to do new bits or like got your notes on stage. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Like, you got notes on stage on a fucking actual show, bitch. What the fuck you doing? Or they'll have, it's just, you got to work your stuff out at the mic, perfect it. And then when it comes to opening, you just stick to the tight, whatever set list you have. And then, when you're headlining, when you make it to that point though, it becomes a little bit like you still want to be tight. But for me, now that I've been headlining for a while, at first it was like a wind up toy. Just like, I have all these jokes and I'm going to do them. But now I've learned that like you kind of want to be loose when you're headlining, and you want to be loose with the crowd a little bit. And I subscribe to the Patrice O'Neill style of you do crowd work enough to where you get into a riff, and then you figure out how to work that into a bit that you already have, so that the audience watching, it seems like it's a conversation, even though it's actually rehearsed. Like, you kind of want to make it look as natural as possible.
Oh, exactly. Jamie's got a good question here. This is really good. But what if the opener kills, and does that make you feel how does that make you feel to follow?
Well, then that motherfucker should be headlining. if you're the fucking headliner, then you better not be letting other people like stomp on you like that. That don't happen to me. But like, yeah, the guy's not wrong. But the question is, it's not how do you feel if the opener like stomps it. It's like, because I love it when people kill in front of me, because I'm like, oh hell yeah, like I like being in situations where I feel like I got to bring my A game now. I do well under like sink or swim circumstances. Like even last night, I was the opener right before Luis J. Gomez, but we had 3 other openers, and I know them. They're good friends of mine, and they are killers. And I was kind of nervous a little bit, but your boy rose to the occasion. But the question should be, wait, if the opener is killing harder than the headliner, why isn't the opener the headliner? That's the question you got to be asking.
Exactly.
Good question, Jamie.
I'm around Baton Rouge. There's a decent comedian scene here.
Yeah, Luis J. Gomez did Baton Rouge Thursday on that run. Yeah, check out Lafayette Comedy, because they do shows in Baton Rouge as well.
I mean, that is awesome. Like the comedian scene. I'll say this about being a comedian. Like, there's a difference between telling jokes and telling experiences, having stories that are funny. Like, what's his name? Like Bill Burr used to go out there. I don't know what happened to Bill.
He still tours.
Oh, I know he does. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about his mind.
Oh.
But no, Bill's funny. I saw Bill Burr open at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club one night. I cannot remember who the headliner was, because Bill was so damn funny that night, he tore the house down. And It wasn't Brad, because Brad was out of town. I played poker with Brad and Raymond several times. Everybody loves Raymond. I was on the table with them several times in Vegas, and that's how I got to go to Brad's club one night. He invited me over there, and I went and hung out, and it was fun. But Bill Burr had opened the show because he had another show to do in Vegas as well that night. So he basically hopped from one to the other. And Bill killed it that night. And there were several comedians on that show that night that were really good. But Bill's always been good. And then Andrew, what's his last name?
Schultz. Andy Schultz. Dude's a killer.
Man, he is a very good killer. But my favorite, I'm a Theo Von guy.
All right. Yeah.
I love Theo, man.
Yeah, he has a weird brain. It's like, is he autistic? But then sometimes he says something that we were like, whoa, wait a minute.
Like, dude, he was on Joe Rogan one time. This was the funny thing. He was on Joe Rogan. He said, bees ejaculate themselves to death. And Joe's like, really? And he's like, yeah, get him to look it up. Get Jamie to look it up. Blah, blah. He looks up. He's like, and Joe's reading it, and in Joe's face, you could see his face. He was astonished that he's like, "Oh shit, this is real." Like, but Theo, I don't think he's always trying to be funny.
No,
And
I think he just is weird. I think that's all it is.
yeah, and it's just it cracks me up the way Theo does it. But it's like, I don't know if you listen to this podcast that much. If you listen to his podcast that much, but the other night, I mean, he started to get more political, and I don't know if I like that. I like the comedian style.
Man, look, man, you got this boring mouth breather on here as a co-host. This guy just taking up space, man. You don't need this bum on the show. So that's why I came on here to liven it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This is snooze fest. I'm over here taking a nap. No idea what's going on. You can laugh all you want.
You said Ryan was
breathing.
breathing.
Much sooner when I find you. And all
You
the
wanna know
promoters that's nut riding in the comments, they already know you ain't on my level. Because if you was, I'd be.
It would be so funny if you got pulled out right now. If you just got
everybody
pulled
now. He talking so fast.
Hey, look, man, you know what? You know what? I'm done talking to your bum ass. Hold on. I'm on here for the cast. Hey, Krangus.
What's up?
What's your beef with Becca Chambers?
I couldn't hear that.
What's your beef with Becca Chambers? He's freezing up.
I don't got to. They're the ones that threw her up at me. I don't have a beef with her. They were just like trying to throw a girl in there to bitch.
Hey, look, man, don't worry about what's going on. I'm out here in traffic because you know I'm always down to get it. And I'm coming on for Ryan, bro. Look, I'm on my way to Alabama, dog. You know it ain't nothing.
Oh,
it's just a skip of some stones from New Orleans, bro.
Okay. You know where you know where to find me. I'm not hard to find.
You look like you smell like the Goodwill.
What you trying to crack on me with that big ass beak that you got? I know you ain't trying to crack jokes, bro. I know you ain't trying to crack jokes, bro. You the white Screech out here. Stop playing with me.
Screech is white.
Yeah, he is.
He's not shook white. Screech is white.
I love it.
Somehow
let's get to the topic at hand.
I don't know how you did it, but somehow you just did racism.
For Becca Chambers.
I don't have a beef with her. They're the ones that threw her in the ring. I don't. Until now, I don't control what the fuck goes on in that GCW ring.
I can see some earwax.
Don't you got some business that we need to discuss? Don't you got some things in the plans? All this boring ass talk y'all talking about. Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
What's the meat and the potatoes?
He know.
I don't.
Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. Don't play dumb. You and I had a conversation. Don't play dumb now.
Go on. Tell me your secrets. Tell me something you've never told anybody, Shug.
Tell him something. Tell us something you've never told anybody, Shug.
No, he secretly likes Binky Jordan.
All right, I got you. I got you right here. I got you guys. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Krangus, you're pretty funny.
Thanks, dude.
Tell things I haven't told nobody. Hey, Ryan, you're a good wrestler.
Wait a minute. Now, we didn't say tell live. We didn't say tell live. We just said tell something you didn't know.
That, yeah. Bro thinks he's slick. That's okay. I got you. No way. Don't worry. I got you.
Hey, Jamie. Jamie's got a question. Krangus, do you have Facebook Reels? I found a lot of funny comedians from the reels.
Yeah, I do. I actually have one. One of my boot camp stories has like 980,000 views on it. Definitely check that out. Just follow me. That's my name. You can follow me on Facebook there and check that out.
So sure,
if y'all boys
you heard he bought the
y'all
GCW.
Wouldn't answer that dumbass question.
He's the new owner of GCW.
Look forward to working with you soon.
Ryan, go to Target.
Hey, Ryan don't have a target, man. Ryan's nobody. You gotta be somebody to have a target. I could take a nap. When I have if I had to ever face Ryan, I'm getting a good ass night's sleep the night before.
Yeah, because you're gonna get put to sleep.
Hey, we can check your track record, brother.
Hold on, Ryan.
You don't put that many people down. You don't be putting people down like that.
Now, don't get scared, Ryan. Don't get scared.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan already know what time it is, man. When all that spooky shit and the smoking mirrors are gone, he already know what's up.
Yeah, when you get put to sleep.
Now, sure.
Don't worry, bro. We're gonna see each other soon.
Thinking you're gonna shoot now.
I done seen you several times. And what happened? I slapped your ass around. It's all on film.
I beat your ass. What you mean?
You beat who ass? You beat.
Yours.
God damn, boy. You lie more than MT2. Don't play with me. You on here lying more than that worm. Don't play with. Matter of fact, you lie more than Sing Fat. Stop playing with me.
Damn.
He's retired now. You can't bring him into this.
That don't mean he ain't a liar.
Hold on. Suge White versus Ryan Razors.
I mean things, but I'm not a liar, bro. All I speak is facts, and my facts is I beat your ass in that Rumble.
Your facts is what? We can easily put the film up. You'll never beat my ass. Never. Matter of fact, we can go Google the shit because it ain't hard to Google, and you can see you don't be putting down the people that you think you are. And I'm definitely eclipsing your work rate, bro. I'm putting down 3 bodies at a time, bro.
Chris Ricard just said that date looks like it might fit. We may get Suge White versus Ryan Razors pretty quick.
Hey, money talk, man. If the people got the money, I'm always going to come in and catch a body. But if you ain't talking money, I ain't wasting my time. And y'all know that dude's a waste of my time, so come up with that money.
No, sounds like I already got a good business plan for the first match as the new owner of the GCW.
Look at this. Jeff Krangus. I mean, look, we got so many promoters tuning in right now. It ain't even funny.
All right. I got you, Jamie. Hey, I'm new with the wrestling side of it, but I'll learn from everybody else and make this a profitable industry.
Hey man, GCW, MCW, wherever it don't matter where you put the match at, the result's gonna be the same. Should been slept. He ain't been in the ring with nobody that can really do nothing.
I ain't been what?
I'm the only
You
person
lying
that's capable
again?
of doing something.
You're lying again? You can easily go to Google and you can Google who you and I have faced. We can Google and compare resumes, Ryan. So let's not get on the internet and start lying about things that can easily be fact-checked. Fact-checked. I got another ex-WWE guy coming up in a couple weeks. I already put down Booker T's #1 trainer twice. Like, stop playing with me, bro.
So you think Booker T?
The greatest person you've been in the ring with is Vladimir Koloff. That's it. And that's not a slight at Koloff. That's just saying you don't face nobody.
Bobby Fish, what?
Who? Bobby who?
Bobby
Nobody
Fish.
knows who that bum is.
Who?
That guy's more known for being disrespected than he is for being in the ring. And last I heard, only 10 people came to the show to see his punk ass. So don't use a name that's not putting butts in seats. You face nobody that puts butts in seats. Don't try to play me, Ryan. Your resume is shit. You really want to go there with your resumes? Come on, bro. Let's be honest here. All the promoters in here know the truth. You can't even hold my jockstrap, bro. You think you can hang in the ring with me? Come on, man. Can't even shine my shoes. You ain't got the opportunities. That's your fault you can't get no opportunities. Suge White out here eating.
Look, I sure hope you can back all this up because I'm going to set it up.
Back up what, bro? Back up what? There's nothing for me to hope to back up, dog. The track record speaks for itself. Track record speaks for myself. I can count on one hand how many people went over. Can you do the same? Can you do the same?
Please don't cross-contaminate, you know what I mean?
Sure. Next question. I came on here for the comedy guy, not to talk about a comedy wrestler.
What about that? What Chris just say?
Chris said July 19th is looking like a collision.
Hey, that's y'all's boy. And y'all don't have many boys left on that roster. So if you want to put that boy in the ring with me, I'm going to put his ass on the shelf.
I'll run you down, bro.
Hey,
put you on the shelf.
Are you on the corner?
The shelf?
I'm back in the block, bro. You know I'm right here. You want to see this? I'm right back on Eagle Street. Y'all know where I am. He can't find me. Hey, come on, man. Put you on the shelf, baby boy. As a matter of fact, I'm done talking to you, dog, because you ain't gonna last 3 minutes till you out of breath. I'm gonna work your ass. So I hope that you ready. July 19th, I
All
hope
right.
you ready, bro, because you ain't had a
Oh
match like we
man.
gonna have. I'm gonna fucking work your ass. You gonna think I'm Steve Anthony when I get done with you.
Shug, you look like you microdosed the N-word.
If I do, who gonna stop me? You? No. Motherfucker, you know where I live? Fuck. These people in this community got me, bro. So you think I'm worried about some internet bums?
I'm looking at where you live right now. I see it. You're showing me. You're asking me, but I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, man, shit.
Looks like a very nice
Hit that
community.
like on the video. If you've not liked this video, hit that like button right now.
Hit the like, man. I know Ryan had y'all in here snoozing. He was just filling in for me because I had a little business to do as the co-host.
Krangus got to step out and just say, hold on here.
Sorry, it started getting dark, so the light was. I need to turn the light on.
Yeah.
I was in here telling scary stories.
Well, apparently Suge's telling some scary stories right now.
Well, this money don't fucking run from that shit. So you can be big all you want, but I ain't gonna stop the money.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Where in the world is Suge White? Suge White is where Suge White wants to be. Hey, Mike Winger, how
I'm
you
in the
doing,
place
brother?
a lot of you Caucasian people ain't gonna come.
Got your money. So you're gonna be losing money then.
Losing money to who? To who? They have to pay me first before I step in the ring with your ass. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about y'all. Let me wait for my Cash App all night, guys. I get my money in advance.
That's a smart decision.
Hey,
Get paid
but man,
before
hey.
you get there. Especially if you work in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Hey, look, man, I'll be back. I gotta go troll another podcast. So y'all give me a second. I'll be back. Hey,
Yeah,
Ryan, you still stuck. Hold my spot down, baby.
All right, hey, Ryan, before we get back to Krangus here, I gotta ask you a question, Ryan. The fuck did you think about that, man? Like he disrespected you. Like, are you gonna let that dude disrespect you?
Krangus, like, all props to you, man. You're a comedian, man, but that's a real comedian right there that we just witnessed right there. Suge White. Oh man.
Right. He might be a wrestler, but that dude is not stepping on a fucking comedy club stage and doing anything I can do. Ain't no fucking way, dude. No, this is a whole crap. This is a whole art form. Like real talk, that's not fucking happening. You can't take away 12 years of me dedicating my life to an entire art form and go, oh, this guy that just comes on and goes, hey, bitch ass, you fucking suck, Ryan. No, that's not fucking comedy. No, hell no. Ain't no fucking comedy. I watched him wrestle. He's a great wrestler. I saw that dude toss like 6 dudes out of the fucking ring, but let's have respect for the other crafts. You know what I mean? I'll have respect for yours, and I'll talk a little shit, but no, we ain't. That's not comedy, though.
Oh, absolutely. That dude, he don't know what's going to hit him till it hits him. That's all good. He can say whatever he wants. I already know what the result's going to be.
Well, July 19th, it looks like Ryan Razors versus Suge White, MCW. That may be crazy. And then we may get him at GCW since Krangus bought it. May happen there as well.
He might not make it. GCW going to mess around with me. He might not make it. So
Krangus, what was some of your influences kind of growing up? Like, who were your favorites? Because, I mean, when you're in comedy, you had to have some favorites before you got in. So who were some of your favorites before you got in? Kind of, I just want to see if we kind of compare because I look at it, we're probably around close to the same age there.
As a kid, like I was a teenager. I was like 15 or 16 when Chappelle's Show first came out.
Oh,
It
It
was the only show that I've ever like, because that was before streaming services. You just had to be at the TV, you know, every Wednesday.
Yep.
And that was the only show that I ever like dedicated myself to be like, I'm gonna get my homework done and tune in. I think it was 9 p.m. on channel 42, Comedy Central every Wednesday. And I was the only show that I ever dedicated to like, I'll be home and watch that show every fucking Wednesday. So I'd say, and even though it's not really stand up, it's more sketch. It still was like a, you know.
Well, Dave Chappelle is stand up. He does stand up. So
I know. Oh yeah, of course. But I'm saying like the Chappelle Show itself is really more of a sketch show.
Man, those episodes were crazy. Like Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah. Yeah, that Clayton Bixby, it just hits a lot of people don't remember. What hooked me was people don't remember the ads that they did. Leading up to it, because back then that was right around the time when like Lord of the Rings was coming out. So every fucking commercial was like Lord of the Rings. So his commercial was, it looks like it's some Middle Earth place, and it's like, come with us on a journey to Middle Earth, and it cuts, and Dave Chappelle hops up and he goes, man, fuck them hobbits. Watch Chappelle's show. That hooked me. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm watching it, bro. Like,
the first episode was the best one to me, he said.
Yeah, Clayton, some of the Lost episodes. Did y'all ever see the Cribs episode, the MTV?
Oh yes,
the Cribs, yeah.
Dude, when it comes to Chappelle, like the Chappelle show, I've seen every episode. That used to be one of my favorite shows to watch.
The race drive,
Tyrone, baby, Tyrone.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of dated now because it's anytime you do politics, it has a shelf of time.
It's too sensitive.
But for the time period, the Black Bush episode was fucking phenomenal.
I love the racial draft. Remember
racial draft.
When they did it, he's like, "We get Tiger Woods."
I like it when they do the white people get Colin Powell, and they're like, they do the white review, and it is like the whitest picture of him. He looked like them people on the Murray's can.
Yeah.
Oh man, there was another one. I'm trying to think of it. It was what was that shit called? It was I'll just get my mind right now. I think it was the player hater.
The player haters ball.
The player hater. The haters ball. There you go.
Oh, Eddie Murphy's brother, who Charlie, was big into the Chappelle show. You know, he's all over it. And the player haters ball, man, that was one of my favorites. What's that?
Between that and the Rick James episode, that shit is fucking. That's one of my best.
Yeah, in my high school, it was like when that episode came out, like for the next weeks, all you would hear in the halls was "I'm Rick James, bitch!" Like that was all you'd hear. Like just
absolutely.
Honestly, I thought the Prince episode was better, and I straight up thought that was made up until they confirmed that was like a genuine story. He really did have like a thing for basketball, and he would invite people over and play, and they would wear like the outfits they were wearing.
Blouses.
And hell, who can forget the "Pee on Me" R. Kelly episode?
Oh yeah,
the remix.
You see the week after the episode after that, Dave Chappelle, because that first part of the show, he just gets on stage in front of his like live audience, and he's like, "So I got a letter from R. Kelly's people," and he was like, "Hey, bro, how you gonna do a video peeing on people?" And he was like, "Bro, how you gonna do a video peeing on people?" Kevin Hart was a little bit past, like, I don't know. Kevin Hart is a person I have much respect for because his work ethic is great. But he's the kind of guy that he started the first special that he came out with was excellent. Like I do remember watching that in the barracks, actually. It was really great. But then he kind of the industry kind of took him and just morphed him into this like Hollywood superstar. And I think it kind of, because the subsequent comedy specials that he put out, it's like each one was shittier than the last. And I think it's because by the time the last one came out, it was like he was just so far removed from regular people that he had no way to relate, you know? And that's a curse. But, Eddie Murphy went through that. That's why he quit stand-up, because he was like, he talked about how he would get on stage and people were so starstruck that they would start laughing. He said it was like a Twilight Zone episode because he could just say dick really loud and they would like laugh their ass off, and it just felt weird, and that's why he ended up quitting. So I think Kevin Hart might be going through that same phase as well. Because I mean, if Kevin Hart gets announced at like the Comedy Store or like the Cellar, any of the Legendary Rooms, the crowd will go ape shit just hearing his name.
How about that? It's gonna show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. It's like he's past that point to where
he's just too much of a superstar now. Like,
yeah. But here's my thing too. Like, all right, let me ask you about this. I'm gonna go back in some time here with comedians, like, because I'm old. I'm old as hell. Like, I'm 42. So let's just say, did you ever look at any Sam Kinison or Richard Pryor?
You know, there's a Sam Kinison, like at the Comedy Store, and like a lot of other clubs call it this. He was notorious because of his energy. They would throw him up at the late night, like 1 o'clock spots, because the Comedy Store just has comedy going all the time.
Yeah.
If you've ever been there, it's just a rotating carousel of different shows, different rooms. And they would put him on at like the 2 a.m. spot, and they called it the Kinnison spot because he was like one of the only people that could get up there and still murder it, even though people are tired, drunk, because of the energy that he had. So it's called, like, the late night spot is called the Kinnison spot.
That's great. You know,
A little piece
Sam,
from comedy.
Sam, man, you know, he was originally casted to be Al Bundy on the Married with Children episode series, and that was before Ed O'Neill got it.
Well, he would have died around that time. Is that why it went to Ed O'Neill?
No. That wasn't why. Because Sam Kinison was actually on Married with Children as one of the cousins or something.
Okay.
But the thing is, he was so busy with doing what he was doing at the time. I can't remember if he was touring with like Roseanne Barr or something, doing something like that. They had a big show or something, and he couldn't do it to film it. And Ed O'Neill walked in looking like his uncle and said, you know, that's Al Bundy. That's how it became about. Sam Kinison died in 92, and I think he made a few appearances on Married with Children throughout the years. But yeah, he was originally slated to be Al Bundy on that show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was wild. I watched because I'm a big Married with Children fan, like one of the greatest shows ever. Nobody can touch that shit. You know, everybody talks about depression and stuff. Let me just say this: go watch that fucking show, and no matter how bad your week was, Al Bundy's was worse.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, what was her name? Fucking
Kelly.
Yeah, she kind of like the Kinnison used to be a preacher also. That's where his cadence came from.
Yeah,
I think it was a Southern Baptist preacher. That's where, like, his style of comedy was very like that, you know, those yelly, like, Southern Baptist, like, fire and brimstone types.
Yeah, his dad was a preacher.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy.
Chris Rock's, another great one. I mean, it's I think he's kind of more on the side of wanting to produce more. I don't think he's doing a whole. I mean, he is doing stats, but I think he's more concerned with doing movies and television show appearances than he is with, like, actual stand-up. But that's kind of the thing. I mean, it's like the path is, because in actual stand-up, there's really not a lot of money. Even like the famous ones will tell you that. That's why they be getting podcasts so they can monetize. That's why they do movies. That's why they do television shows. Actual live stand-up, and that's all you do, does not make money. Take it from a guy that does it. Like,
well, that kind of fits in with independent wrestling.
Yeah.
You know,
I bet even WWE guys are like, the way they're really making money is some sponsorship deal they're getting, or it's not, or The Rock does movies now, you know.
Well, here's the thing with WWE. Like, you look at Stone Cold, you look at The Rock, you look at them. Now, they were making the money there. But you look at the mid-card guys, and if basically some of them, I think, and I agree, I think Rey Mysterio was making less than $100,000 a year his first year in WWE in 2002. I think he was making like $75,000 or $85,000 a year. And that's hard to live on because you have to pay for all your expenses. Like, you have to pay for car rentals. You have to pay for hotels. You don't get reimbursed for that. The only thing I think that they pay for is like flights, like when they fly out and stuff. So you look at that, and that's hard to do with that. But an independent wrestling, man, like, you're traveling, even if you're making top dollar on the independent scene, it's still like not that much. So for a comedian, it's to step into that superstar role. It's to step into getting into movies, to get into that big time stuff. So yeah, doing stand up, and you want to go do it every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris Rock definitely will stop in at the Comedy Store just because he is a pure comic. Like, so he's got to get that itch, scratched. But I mean, in terms of like actually putting out specials, I don't know if he's interested in doing that anymore. Maybe, I could be wrong. I don't really know the guy, so just based off of my observation and like what I know about the industry, I don't know that that's what he's focused on right now.
Would you argue that that Hollywood lifestyle, or just kind of easing into that, can kind of alter people's perception on the craft a little bit, or is it
Just what do you mean by the Hollywood lifestyle? Just like
or the transition of like trying to get all those different
oh yeah,
avenues?
that's what I'm saying is once you do get to that level of superstardom, you start to, because comedy, you have to be able to relate to people. It's called reading the room. So if you're like such a star and you're so far removed, that's what I think happened to Kevin Hart. It's like, what can he write about? Because you got to write what you know. And if all you know is being a super famous, super rich guy, like maybe you can perform to billionaires who understand that life, but it's kind of the same thing with like sometimes I'll have problems when I book like a New York comic. I can tell if they've never left New York because they'll come down to Mississippi and do 30 minutes about the subway, and you're sitting there like, dude, we don't have that here. Like, that's so the same thing happens. It's more of a
One
ladder.
subway anybody in Mississippi knows about is the sandwich.
Yeah. So it's like, why are we? How can you write a joke if all you know, and especially when you're that level of rich, it's like you've got people all like you have a camp now, and they're all people that are just always there around you in your ear about shit like that. That affects your set. That's going to affect what you can do, and you have to start watching what you say because now you have production companies that are that like Netflix will edit the fuck out of your Netflix special. They'll cut things out if they don't like it. That happened to Andrew Schultz, actually. He ended up buying his special back from Netflix because they were editing stuff that he didn't like. And then he took the step and said, fuck it, I'll release it myself on YouTube, which ended up being a more lucrative deal for himself than the Netflix deal was. So, that was a real smart move on Andy Schultz's part. But, you just can't, it's hard to relate to people when you're too rich and famous.
Well, here's the thing. Like when you want to tell stories, and you're a comedian, you want to tell a good story that you know is going to get a laugh, but it's a real life experience. Like I'll give you one. Like I was at a party when I was 17 years old. We all drank when we were kids. You go out, you have fun, you go to a house party. And I grew up in the era where American Pie was that was our high school thing, So you go to a party. I went to a party one night, and this girl gets dared to stick a Mountain Dew bottle somewhere.
You about to get us all canceled.
She does
it. Just admitting to felonies. Like, all right, what's up?
She does it.
Here.
It gets stuck. Can't get it out. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I know how to do it. I know how to get it out. But she's complaining she's got to go to the doctor. She's got to go to the emergency room. So I'm not going to tell her how to do it.
Better if it was a Dr. Pepper. I got to go to the doctor.
It was a Mountain Dew. It was a Mountain Dew. But we get to the emergency room, and she's got a trench coat on. She's covering up, and we go in there, and the doctor comes in and evaluates the situation.
Thanks.
And all they do is pop a hole in the bottom of it, and it pops out.
Just
and,
like a little bop.
Yeah.
Make a noise.
So she just probably paid a few $1,000s just to get a hole popped in the bottom of the bottle.
The funny thing is, I know nurses, and like just having conversations with them, that's probably not the craziest thing they've ever pulled out of a woman or a person.
Oh, dude, I got one. All right, Cat Williams has already been one of my favorites. Jamie says, "What's your thoughts on Cat?" And
Cat's great. He's one of the few that really has been able to maintain relevancy.
And he hasn't gone too far out. I mean, he's been in movies.
He's got money, but it's just not affected him the same. But I think it's because of his persona. His persona already has been like, I'm, this pimp, I'm this. So it's like, it didn't matter because it was like, he kind of faked it till he made it. And then he did make it. And it's like, well, that's already the character that he plays on stage. So it makes sense. Like, but he is, I'll give you, that's somebody that can make 4 more specials and I'd watch him. Like, I actually recently booked his, we had him last year. One of his writers, Stephen Lawley, we had him down here last year.
Oh, wow. I want to get to writers in a second, but all right. So this story's crazy. One of my friends used to be a security guard, and he used to work at like the hospitals. You know, they have security guards at the hospitals all the time. Well, he always worked the really late shift, like I think it was like 11 to 7. And one night, this kid come in, and when I say kid, I ain't gonna say the age, but anyway, it was a young kid. He comes in, and they have to do an X-ray because this kid shoved his mama's play toy up his ass.
Man.
Then he got stuck.
Mississippi pussy. When you're here, damn, sharing the oh god, all that mom's pussy grease on it. Ugh, no, that is a sin most foul.
Oh my gosh, man! Yeah, we're gonna.
I hope that kid went to jail, like adult jail. Like
Probably needed to.
Jail. Like, ugh.
Well, I mean, he was probably already a future serial killer at that point, so they probably already sent him in. All right, so getting back to the writers, like, how many famous writers have you met? And like, dude, like, you know, writing some of this stuff, because like for the big stars, they get wrote stuff that they didn't even experience.
I don't know. I think everybody has different. I don't have writers. I just write my own shit. But
yeah,
like I've heard some people do it where it's like a writer's room, and rather than like, hey, I'm giving you a joke, it's the idea is that you're bouncing ideas off of people's head to see how you can formulate it together, rather than it be. I mean, I'm sure that there is some people that like, I want you to type out a joke and give it to me, but like, I don't know. I haven't done anything like that, and most comedians, like even at the higher levels, most comedians write for themselves, because like that's such a like the cardinal sin to commit in comedy is stealing jokes. So there's a fine line between like having people writing for you and then like just taking shit from people, and that gets lost in translation sometimes, from not from anything that I've ever done or experienced, but just witnessing. You know, there's a thing that happened a few years ago when I was living in Phoenix. I don't want to say the names, but there was these two comics. One had just gotten like his 3rd DUI, so he was going to prison, and I think he wanted to sell all of his jokes to this other comedian because he wanted to put some money on his commissary, which
that's about right.
They basically sold him about like all of his jokes, and then but none of us knew that. So the other comic, you know, we all know each other's bits because we see each other at shows all the time. The other comic that bought him was doing the other dude's jokes, and we were all like, what do you fucking do? You can't just take his jokes. And he's like, no, I bought him. But we didn't believe him. But how can the motherfucker's in jail, we can't like ask him, you know, like, I'm not taking time out of my day to go to jail to like do visitation rights for this shit. Like, so yeah, but then he did get out eventually, and it was confirmed, but like stuff like that happens, and like people start going, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, Rogan versus Mencia, GCW, bro.
Jeez.
If I could get Rogan to come to Mississippi, I mean, I did just get somebody that's been on Rogan to come to Mississippi. I don't know if Rogan gives a fuck about us, though.
Shit, it'd be hard for Rogan.
He's definitely not getting on stage with Mencia.
So
not beating his ass.
Well, Dane Cook, who was that Dane Cook stole the jokes from? There was somebody Dane Cook stole jokes from.
There was an alleged Louis C.K. alleged that. But
yeah, that's right.
They actually did an episode about that on Louis, the show, where they kind of hashed it out on the show. So it was, you know, there's a thing called parallel thinking, and there's also, you know, sometimes there'll be a situation where you're talking to a comic and you're kind of running bits on each other, and then when you're riffing on stage, like a piece of that comes out. That happened to me recently. Somebody did that to me, you know, but we worked it out. Like, but sometimes you're just on stage and it's, you know, you got the lights and you're just in the moment. It's easy to just forget. Oh, I actually just heard that. I didn't realize, you know, you know it when you see it. Like that's why it's always been hard for comics to have like a legal, like music. There's a very like clear cut copyright. Jokes, it's really hard to put that in court, which is why comedians have to police themselves. which is why Rogan got on. If y'all don't know what that dude was just talking about, years ago at the Comedy Store, this is back when like Mencia was huge, and he was caught stealing Ari Shaffir's jokes, and Joe Rogan got on stage and like, you know, Joe Rogan's a big guy. He's like, man, fuck you, like you fucking stealing his fucking jokes. Basically, almost got into a fight with Carlos Mencia. Now you got to remember at the time, this was when Rogan was not a big name. I mean, he did Fear Factor, but he was not like Mencia was at the top at that moment. It ended up it had Joe Rogan banned from the Comedy Store for a while, and obviously Joe Rogan won that battle. He's now the fucking GOAT in terms of just being a producer, and like he's probably I would say the most powerful comedian in the world right now in terms of like where he can take you. So
Joe Rogan, I think even Joe Rogan was on the Chappelle Show at one point.
Yes, he was. I think he was maybe on the racial draft. He was like one of the commentators, I think.
Yep.
He had like a small role. They
Rogan
times, Joe and Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, Rogan, man, he goes back. Like he's a legend in not just comedy, but like MMA, combat sports, and all that. He's just like, and Rogan just pops off the Joe Rogan Experience, and then here we are, years later, and fucker's just taking over. Now he's a fucking having Trump and JD Vance and all these people. I mean, like they're getting higher numbers than actual news networks.
Yeah,
and it's crazy, like how far they've come. Like nobody watches the news. Nobody pays for cable no more.
Okay? No, that's all about podcasts and TikToks now.
Yeah, it's podcasts, TikToks, and streaming. If you're not streaming, I mean, because look, I can't remember how many services I'm subscribed to, but it is fucking cheaper to be subscribed to 100 damn streaming services than to pay for cable. You're going to pay cable $200 a month. You're going to get 200 channels, 400 channels, whatever. But the thing is, half them channels don't mean a damn thing. So it's like, it's just wild. Streaming services, TikTok, social media, podcast, that gets the downloads.
And with Joe, it's crazy because like, yeah, I'm 27. I've been growing up like, I can't remember a time when Joe Rogan wasn't relevant in some shape or form. Whether it was Fear Factor,
Joe Rogan was relevant when who was he like an assistant to or something back in the day, like before he really got famous.
Said Mencia stole too many people's jokes. Yeah, Miss Savage. There was the problem with Mencia was that he was doing a thing that a lot of people did back then. The move in LA back in the time was whoever gets it on TV first, that's their joke. So the problem is he was stealing from like unknown comedians that could basically do nothing about it. So he was basically bullying the entire comedy world, and that's that's why Joe Rogan was calling it out. And that's where he cemented his like legend status with comedians across the world, because he was like, okay, this is like the guy that fights for the underdog, you know.
And Rogan's not scared to speak his mind. Like if it comes up to something, you know, and Rogan's got so much power now.
Yeah.
It's unreal. When I listen, like, here's my podcast. I do listen to Rogan every now. I'm not like, I got to listen to Rogan every week. Now I listen to Theo Von pretty much every time. And what I like about Theo Von is that he's not always bringing on like some superstar celebrity. Like he brought on a fucking carnival guy that had been in a carnival for 20 years that nobody knew. Brought him on. I listened to this. It's been about a year or so ago. I listened to this shit and I'm just like, I just learned a lot about my state fair. And I'm just like, I love this shit. Like it doesn't have to be somebody you know.
Dude, the funniest people in this world is not some famous comic. It's some fucking comic that does road gigs in Ohio, like through the Midwest. Like it's, you know, fame comes whenever it comes, but you know, you can't like bank on it. But if you're looking at actual funny people, I've met funnier people that are nobodies, you know. There's nothing, not to say that any of the people that we've talked about aren't funny, but I mean, the shit that I've laughed at the most and seen people like get standing ovations for is shit that you're not going to see on Netflix or, you know.
Hell no. I mean, that to me is better than anything. Look, Rogan, Theo, and Bad Friends. What about Kill Tony Kill?
Kill Tony. I definitely respect everything that Tony Hinchcliffe has done for himself, and he has put on a lot of comedians. The one problem that I have with it is some of those people, because it's anybody signs up, man, and some of those people got breakaway success, but they've never done stand up, and so suddenly they're like, because they have this fame, they're like trying to. I think guys like Cam Patterson are handling it well because I've actually seen him before. And he's a really good comedian and very charismatic. Like, he can carry not having a whole lot of material with his charisma. Like, people just like him. He's infectious. But there's other people on those lineups where it's like, dude, you don't have 5 minutes to your name and you're asking me to headline you just because you're famous. I'd much rather book somebody that's really good that, yes, I'll have to work a little bit harder to put asses in seats, but at least I know those people are going to have a good show. I'd rather have a half of the room filled for a really good comedian than a whole crowded room for somebody that has no idea what he's doing, you know. And it did. Kill Tony just created this, like, a lot of comics talk about it. I don't really shit on it as much because there are people on it that I'll book. I got David Lucas actually coming in September, but you know, I got this roast battle coming up Saturday. Whoever wins this trilogy event is going to be able to open for David Lucas. But yeah, Kill Tony definitely. Some of the other names, they're not really comedians. They just kind of like got up there for the first time and did, you know, maybe one joke. Some of them get caught stealing jokes.
That's wild.
They'll do jokes. I see that a lot on Kill Tony.
Yeah, I do see that too on Kill Tony. I'm not like I got to watch Kill Tony. I just, every now and then I tune into something and I'll see it and it's funny. And one of my favorites is Sean Gillis.
Shane Gill. Well, he's an actual comedian. He's on the panel, not.
No. What I'm saying is, yeah, Shane Gillis is on the panel. But what I'm saying is, when I see Shane Gillis, though.
Gillis.
Look at me. I'm going to get smacked by him. Because you can't drink a beer until the commercial ends. Is that he has the best Trump impression ever. Like, the shit that he does is so spot on. I love it. We got to have the titties. I love it. I love the way he does it, but he's just funny, and I enjoy listening to him as well. So let's see, Ryan, who's your favorite comedian?
My top three are Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, and third one's always gets switched around a lot. But for the sake of the conversation, I'll say Cat Williams.
Oh, so you went all black. You didn't go no white. You racist? You can't name one white comedian, can you?
I can think of one.
Who?
Suge
Daniel White.
Tosh.
Who?
Okay, I guess. Daniel Tosh. I think.
Shit, both of your pants.
That's like bomb barrel, but like that's like there's very few that I can think off the top of my head.
I like Tim Allen.
That was a random. What's up, 1990?
I just saw Home Improvement popped up on something said about Home Improvement on something. I just said Tim Allen. But,
no, that dude got like right before Home Improvement. A dude went to jail for trafficking cocaine.
Well, yeah, he did that.
Like
but
you
know the thing with Tim Allen too is, and we'll get into this real quick. Tim Allen is conservative, and he don't mind speaking. You know, like most conservatives now. Let's put it this way: most conservatives now get canceled. They're put on the back burner. Like as soon as they speak out against any kind of movement, you know, they're canceled. Tim Allen has not been canceled yet, and he has spoke out against a lot of things. That's because his fan base is so built up that even Disney can't cancel this man. What's Jamie? I know, man. It's Steve's baby. It's Steve's. But anyway, all right. So Ryan is racist. He can't even name a white comedian.
I guess.
He can't even name a. Oh, well, is it really racist since it's white?
You open a whole can of worms with that one.
Oh,
No,
don't talk about worms. I don't like
The
worms.
worst thing is hearing your accent called this dude is blacker than a gas station banana, and you trying to call him racist. Right? God damn.
I was say.
Oh man, I had to go there. So, my favorite comedian, one of them is Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Hands down. I gotta love Cat because he's real, and I loved it when Theo Vaughn had him on. And you remember Theo Vaughn was talking about the Cat Williams statue, which is a black nutcracker. And he's like, "Did you get paid for your likeness?" He's like, it's like you look at Theo, and I don't know if he was joking or not. Like, he may have been really fucking serious. And then you look at Cat, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I didn't get paid for my likeness." And he was talking about Trump for a second, and he goes, "Man, I just don't like to think about things that I'm never going to have," which he was talking about being a billionaire. And I just love Cat's legit. Like, Cat's got to have money. Now, I'm not saying that, he's rich now.
Oh, he's rich. I mean,
Yeah, but what
not a
I'm saying,
billionaire, though. I know what you mean.
yeah. So what I'm saying is the fact that, he keeps it real. Cat's one of the realest dudes. And one of my favorite scenes ever in a movie was when Damien come into the bathroom on Cat Williams' character next Friday or Friday after next. And he's like, he rips open the shirt. He's got the phone book there. He was in prison. He gets shanked. He's like, "It's on, Lucky Charm." And that was one of the funniest parts in the movie. That was hilarious. But yeah, it's just like Cat Williams is one of my favorites. Dave Chappelle's always been one of my favorites.
All right. I want to ask you guys a question. I gotta go soon, so I do want to end on something here. I got a story, but I want to know from you guys, what's like from a fan and outside the ring, what's like the wildest thing a fan has done during a show?
All right, Ryan, I'm gonna let you go this first because I got a couple of them
that like I've seen in person in real time.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything. I'm trying to think now. I remember fans talk shit, they heckle people and shit like that, but that's really tame shit. I don't think I've been in at least around a situation where like fans have hopped the barricade and shit like that. That shit happens a lot. And people fuck around and find out 9 times out of 10 in those situations.
Oh, do you have like situations where people actually try to fight and you're like, all right, motherfucker, okay.
Or motherfuckers will get in the ring and shit, and what the fuck are we supposed to do other than get them the fuck away? Because this is not about them.
Yeah.
It's about us.
Is there like a rule where it's like, all right, once you do that, all bars are off and I got to put you down or what?
Oh, yeah, basically. Like, you went across that barricade. It's kind of...
once you cross that barricade, you're fucked.
It's free game.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know like I'm sure there's like all kinds of little codes and things that y'all have like.
Yeah, like I think and like the bigger companies or whatever, they have like certain like protocols that they probably do and whatnot because they can't be held liable and shit like that, whatever. But fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
you get in that ring.
You jump over that barricade, liability's out the door. You better,
Dude, years ago, it's funny you say that. Years ago in Phoenix, this isn't actually my story. I got another one, but I just made me think of it. Barricade. I was at this open mic in Tucson, and this dude. Okay, so it's like a patio show. It's just an open mic, but it's in the middle of like the downtown area, and outside the bar, there's this gate that's about like a little, like maybe chest high, and it's got those like wrought iron fences with like the spear on top. That's important for later. So the show's going on, and it's a shit show. It's just open mic. Nobody's there to see it. It's hot. These drunk dudes are outside that gate, and they start heckling from outside. I don't remember who was on stage, but the comic starts like, fuck you, like roasting him back. The dude tries to hop over that fence, and he slips, and one of those like spears goes right through his bicep. And he just impales his arm on the gate. And we were like, oh shit. Like, ambulance had to come and like pry him off. It was gnarly, bro.
Fuck.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you just say that it went through his fucking arm?
Yeah, he like slipped and it like went like just through his fucking arm.
Oh,
hold on, and they had to pull. Oh my god!
Dude.
Yeah, that fucking had to suck ass. Oh man,
it definitely was for the comics. All the comics were like, yeah, like, fuck
I would have probably been out
it
there
was the
cheering.
greatest version of karma I've seen, like in comedy. Like, yeah, motherfucker.
I'll tell you a good one. So this was actually before I got into wrestling. Like, I mean, I was into wrestling, but like I had not come back officially as training or whatever. But anyway,
You're a
there was
trainer.
a time that, and like in Mississippi, dude, like people are simple-minded. So you get people that believe things are still real. Anyway, so there was a show that somebody got duct taped to like the ring post. And this woman got so fucking pissed, she pulled out a switchblade knife, opens it, looks like she's coming at a certain manager and wrestler with a knife. She's going to stab him. But no, she just wanted to cut the baby face from the ring post. And she did. She cut him from the ring post and opened it up. That was one of them. Because I seriously, I was sitting in the crowd thinking, oh, she's finna cut somebody's ass for real. Also, another time, and then I'll tell a time that I was actually a manager and that something happened. Another time was, I'll go ahead and say his name, Billy D. McLean was managing. He used to carry this cane with him. He drops the cane to do something in the ring, and when he does that, this old man picks this cane up, and I swear this old man's crazy. I thought he was fisting to hit Billy D in the head with it. But instead of doing it, when the ref turned around and looked, the fan threw it up under the ring so that nobody had it. And it was like he was trying to hide it from the referee too. Like, oh, I ain't doing nothing wrong. Now, one time I was doing this and I did not notice this until it happened or until I saw the video. I'm out managing somebody. I'm not going to say her name. But anyway, I was out managing them. And I believe it was, I want to say it was Overton. Alexander Overton. He was out there. He was in the match with my client. And this old woman gets so mad at me, and I'm jaw-jacking with her. And I said, I can't help it. Your mom and your dad were the same, were brother and sister. And she's like, my dad and my mom weren't brother and sister. I couldn't tell the difference. Your mom and your dad had the same last name before and after marriage. You're inbred. I turn around, and she literally, no joke, swings at my head. And I don't know how the timing was right, but I moved forward just like this, just enough that her hand went right behind my head. She wanted to kill me. And then I went out and I said, I can't remember the damn line I dropped. It was funny as hell. I have to remember it sometime. But I pissed off these two dudes, and they were waiting in the parking lot for me. And as I drove off, I let my window down. I said, hey, guys. And they realized it was me. I just drove past them. what was the line though that night? That was the funniest shit ever. But Krangus, I got to ask you this question before you go because I know you're busy.
And I do have something to show y'all in a minute, but yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you got plenty of time to show us whenever you want to show us. But I want to ask you this: would you be willing to come back on the Brilliant Show?
Absolutely.
All right, dude. We're gonna get back. Why? What do you want to show us?
Hold on, I got a story for you. I'm gonna get my girlfriend to bring it.
Oh yeah, I remember what it was. They told me when I came to Alabama I was going to see livestock. They just didn't tell me it was going to be in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at those guys and I looked at the two girls in the front row and I said, yeah. I said, they didn't tell me when I came to Alabama I was going to see livestock. Or they did tell me when I came to Alabama I was going to see livestock. They just didn't tell me it was going to be in the front row. And I was looking at those dudes were waiting for me in the parking lot that night.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I've noticed, like, I've been around y'all a little bit. I'm starting to get used to being around more wrestling. And I noticed, like, half the crowd understands wrestling for what it is. And then there's another part of it that, like, they believe everything wholeheartedly. And it's like, wow, this is insane.
It's still real to me, damn it.
No, so years ago, before I actually started getting into all this, and I actually came to one of y'all's events, well, not y'all's, but the GCW. It was like a Christmas show. I came out years ago. I was in New Orleans, and I just stopped at a Buffalo Exchange. Like my girlfriend likes to thrift shop, and I saw this. I kind of was in the market for a little bomber jacket, and I saw this, and I was like, "Oh, it looks pretty cool. This is it."
Oh,
fuck.
The Japanese steakhouse.
Well, I mean, you're familiar with the place, huh? It's like a wrestling.
Yeah,
yes, that is a big wrestling Riberia.
It's a so I didn't, and I actually verified because the lining and everything. It's actually an authentic one, and
It's on video games too. It's on.
Yeah, I bought it for like $10 at the store. You know, look if you buy them online, they're like 200. But
yeah, they're over more.
I didn't know anything about that history. I had a comedy show that night in New Orleans, and this comic I hadn't met comes up and he's like, "Yo," and he starts talking to me about wrestling. And at the time, now I've done a lot more research. I know a little bit. I really didn't know much about wrestling. I just thought it was a cool looking jacket. And dude's like, I just thought because the jacket. And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he told me the whole thing about Ribera Steakhouse, and I was like, "Oh shit." So then I look it up later, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I just got like an awesome deal. I guess the thrift store or the Buffalo Exchange didn't know what they had. I don't know, but
they definitely did.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's an authentic one based off of the lining. I made sure to authenticate it.
Like that is the big deal. Like I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong. If Dave Miller watches this episode, he'll be able to tell me. I think that's the steakhouse that Mike Von Erich ate at right before he died. Like I think that was it. And yeah, but it was in No Mercy.
Yeah.
I think it was in WrestleMania 2000. You could like create a character, you could put that on there. That became a very big symbol in the wrestling world, especially in Japan type deal.
Yeah.
All right. Krangus, one more thing. What about Robin Williams and Adam Sandler or Jerry Seinfeld? Now,
I think that might have been referencing to when we were talking about white comedians on me. And those are good examples of good comedians. I just couldn't think of top 10 because they typically don't, they're like probably like top 10, but they're not like top 3, the one that comes first in my head.
Adam Sandler's great because Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore.
What about Krangus? What about Krangus? How good is he?
Krangus, yeah.
I'm tired of talking about other people. Let's talk about. I got one story. It was one of the wildest things that's happened to me. I mean, I guess that arm story with the gate is pretty wild, but I don't know. To me, this one, I was in the middle of my set in Long Beach. This is why I think Long Beach is the Florida of Mississippi. And it's a packed room, not a very big room though. Like packed for this place is like 30 people. It's one of them, but it was fun. It was a really fun room that I did. And it was a round. Like I was getting drunk on stage. It was literally just me because it was an open mic, but like the comics didn't want to make the drive, so usually it was just me up there for an hour, and I would just riff it. We'd have the fucking Gary Owen is great. The bar owner would have a mic back there, and we would. It was like a Coyote Ugly. So my shirt would come off and shit. It was a wild show. And one night, this drunk girl heckles me she has this shot glass with what I thought was like eggnog, and she goes, "Hey, funny man, you want to take a shot of my breast milk?" Like the funny thing was the fact that she like went to the bathroom and like pumped it. She had it ready. This was a premeditated breast milking, I guess. Almond milk, if you're wondering. Because it was a room full of bikers. I'm like, when she said that, everybody started chanting, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta do it. My biggest regret was not recording all the shows that happened at this place. It was a place called Poor Judgment. Rest in peace. It's not there anymore, but my God, I had the weirdest fucking nights, but just the best. If I had recorded like a lot of that shit, it would have went viral like several times over. Yeah, Jamie Johnson, I did drink it. Warm almond milk. Because you can't let the bikers start going, yeah. You're like, all right, well, I gotta
drink her breast milk.
I guess this is part of the show now.
All right, we're about to start wrapping up. Before we do, Gary Owen, you know what was one of the funniest things he ever said? I love Gary Owen too. I follow him on TikTok and other things. Funniest thing was he said, I think he was in Florida at the time doing it, and his attorney kept trying to get a hold of him. He's like, he was in the middle of a divorce, and she was trying to get with. He's like, I'll deal with it when I get back to California. And she's like, no, you need to deal with it now. Or no, he was in Ohio. She's like, because in Ohio, they don't get 50-50. But if you come back to California and get a divorce, you're going to have to pay 50-50 on it. He's like, oh, yeah, I better do that. But no, Gary Owen's great. All right. Yeah, he did drink. All right. So anyway, Krangus, we got to get you back on. We got to do something. I mean, you're going to be in talks. Don't worry.
Well, ECW, I'm going to have to probably use you as the promotion side of it.
There you go, baby. There you go. So before you come back or before you get off, go ahead and run us through all your social medias. The floor is yours. Just tell everybody where they can find you, where they can watch you.
Well, I got Instagram. That my name down there is my handle for pretty much everything, Krangus Gillespie. And you can also go to my website at krangus.com. The big shows I've got coming up are the roast battles. So I got this Saturday, July 5th. I know that I think there's another wrestling event July 5th, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, MCW.
This isn't a competition. It's whatever you want to do. It's a roast battle. So it's 8 comedians going up against each other from all 4 states of the Gulf Coast. The 4 winners are going to advance to the finals. That's going to happen on August 2nd at the Mary C. O'Keefe, where they will compete for the chance of a big cash prize. And they will be then opening for David Lucas in September 25th for the Frets for Pets charity event. So those are the big events coming up. Get your tickets, Krangus.com. And my name down there is my handle on every platform that you can find. YouTube, same thing.
Awesome. Ryan, before we get out here, you better hang up. Hang on for just a second after. But go ahead and give your plugs as well.
YouTube.com/Ryan Razors Edge, Facebook, Twitter, Ryan Razors, TikTok, Ryan Razors, Twitch, Ryan Razors. Anything that has a social media platform, 9 times out of 10, that you type Ryan Razors in, you're gonna find something. Upcoming events. I guess I'll do something over there at MCW on July 5th. And we'll see what happens there, but yeah.
Well, first off, Krangus, I want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man.
I said, hope we can get you back. Hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow night on British Show. Because I'm gonna tell you something, Ryan. You've been around this man. Tomorrow night, you know me. Am I drinking? His drinking. Tomorrow night, Mac Daddy Duds comes on, and he's going to break his silence. Oh, man, this dude. All right, look, I managed him. Me and him have been friends for years. He does not hold back. Tomorrow night, right here on the British Show, he is going to tell all. He is not retired, but he's out. But tomorrow night, he's going to let everything fly. I hope y'all enjoy it. Thank you for joining us, Krangus. Ryan, as always, as well.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'll hang out in the post. I just wanted to
Yeah.
figure out
Sounds
what the timeline was because I do want to ask you some questions and you as well, Ryan.
All right. Hey, sounds good, brother. All right,
Sure.
y'all have a good night. We'll
too,
see you
bro.
tomorrow night with Mac Daddy Duds, baby.
Lights blaze bright, it's a glorious sight. The champ of the mic owns the night. With a mind so slick and a suit so clean, he's running this ring like a wrestling machine. From gold-plated deals to jaw-dropping schemes, he's the mastermind of your wildest dreams. Stand up, take note, bow down if you can. It's the brilliant show with the brilliant one. He's the man.